Hey there, busy professionals. Ever wish there was like a shortcut to eating healthy, even with a crazy schedule?
Yeah.
Well, today, we're diving deep into healthy eating tips by Victor Joseph. And let me tell you, this book, it doesn't play by the usual rules. We're going to pull out the most impactful, time-saving tips so you can boost your energy, sharpen your focus, and basically become the best, healthiest version of yourself, all without spending hours meal prepping or reading complicated nutrition labels.
It's true. What makes this book so interesting is it really understands the demands of a busy life.
Yeah.
It's all about making strategic tweaks, not overhauling your entire routine.
Okay, so one of the first things that jumped out at me was the book's take on breakfast. Get this. It says breakfast is optional. Can you believe that? I always thought skipping breakfast was practically a health sin.
It's definitely a myth buster. The author's point is that for people with desk jobs who aren't burning tons of calories first thing in the morning, breakfast isn't necessarily essential. It really depends on your individual activity level and how your body uses energy.
So we should be listening to our bodies instead of blindly following the breakfast is king rule. I like that. But if you do choose to eat breakfast, what does the book recommend?
Protein.
Right.
Protein. Protein. The author calls it the king of macronutrients for a reason. Think of it as the foundation for sustained energy and focus throughout the day.
And the book gets super specific about protein intake, right?
Yes. It recommends aiming for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, spread evenly throughout the day. Now, I know that might sound like a lot, especially if you're used to lighter meals, but it's all about making sure you're getting enough to stay full and energized.
So it's not just about how much protein you eat, but also when you eat it.
Exactly. The book recommends aiming for 20-30 grams per meal. And here's where it gets really interesting for those of you who work out. The book dives into the science of post-workout protein timing and how consuming protein, especially the amino acid called leucine, within 2 hours of exercise can really optimize muscle recovery.
So there's a strategy to it. It's like a science experiment in your kitchen. And you don't have to choke down bland chicken breast all day, right? There are tastier ways to get your protein fix.
Absolutely. The book lists tons of options: lean meats, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, even plant-based choices like beans and quinoa. You can even keep hard-boiled eggs in the fridge for a quick protein-packed snack on the go.
Okay. On to the next myth-busting moment. The book actually praises white potatoes.
White potatoes, I thought those were banished from any healthy diet. What's the deal there?
It's one of those things that really surprised me too. But here's the thing. White potatoes have a really high satiety index score. That means they make you feel fuller longer on fewer calories, which is perfect for busy professionals who don't want to be distracted by hunger pangs.
Sounds like a secret weapon against those afternoon snack attacks. Exactly. And the science behind it is pretty cool. It all comes down to their fiber content and the way they're digested. White potatoes are a good source of something called resistant starch, which basically means it takes your body longer to break them down, keeping you feeling full and satisfied.
So white potatoes are the underdog champion of the food world, I'm told. Now, since we're talking about carbs, what does the book say about the eternal fruit versus veggie debate? I know both are good for you, but is there a clear winner?
Good question. The book acknowledges the benefits of both, but ultimately gives the edge to vegetables for a couple of key reasons.
Okay, I'm all ears. Spill the tea.
Well, veggies tend to be more nutrient-dense and lower in sugar, which is a win-win when you're trying to maintain stable energy levels throughout the day. Think of it this way. You want to fuel your brain power, not send it on a sugar roller coaster.
That makes sense. Stable energy equals stable productivity, right?
Absolutely. And it's not that fruit is bad, just that for optimal results, veggies should be your priority. Think leafy greens, broccoli, colorful peppers, all those good things.
Load up the plate with veggies. Got it. Speaking of loading up, the book also stresses the importance of mindful eating, specifically unplugging while you eat. And I'll admit, I struggle with this one. Lunch often feels like the only time I can catch up on emails or scroll through the news.
I get it. We're all glued to our devices these days. But the book makes a compelling argument for disconnecting during mealtime. It's about really savoring your food, paying attention to your body's signals, and allowing yourself a mental break.
So it's not just good for your digestion, but also for your mental well-being and focus.
Exactly. Think of it as a mini meditation in the middle of your day, and when you come back to work, feeling refreshed and recharged, your productivity will thank you.
Okay, I'm convinced. Unplug and enjoy the food. Now, speaking of enjoying things, what does the book recommend for a midday pick-me-up?
Well, forget that extra cup of coffee. The book champions green tea. as the ultimate beverage for a focused boost.
Green tea. Seriously.
Yeah.
It seems a bit, well, gentle.
Don't let its gentleness fool you. Green tea is packed with antioxidants and polyphenols, which have all sorts of health benefits. Plus, it gives you a gentle caffeine lift, combined with L-theanine, which promotes calm focus. Unlike coffee, which can sometimes leave you jittery, green tea provides sustained energy and mental clarity.
It's like the calm, collected cousin of coffee. I like it.
Yeah.
But there's a catch, right? Something about timing.
Right. The book advises drinking green tea before 2 p.m. to avoid any sleep disruptions. It's all about working with your body's natural rhythms.
Smart move. So we've covered a lot of ground here. Prioritizing protein, the surprising power of white potatoes, the benefits of mindful eating, and the magic of green tea. But if we had to sum it all up, what's the overarching theme of the book?
I'd say it's about making healthy eating fit your busy life, not the other way around. It's about finding simple, sustainable strategies that work for you, even when you're juggling a million things.
So it's about making small changes
Yeah.
that have a big impact over time.
Exactly. And it's about remembering that healthy eating isn't about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and sticking with it.
So no guilt trips allowed.
Yeah.
Just focus on progress, not perfection.
You know, one thing this book emphasizes that really resonated with me is the power of food tracking. It can be incredibly eye-opening, even if you only do it a couple of times a week.
I'll be honest, food tracking always seemed a bit tedious and time-consuming, especially for someone with a packed schedule. What's the real benefit for busy professionals?
It's all about awareness. The author points out that we often underestimate how many calories we're actually consuming. Tracking helps you see the reality of your eating habits and make more informed choices. It's like having a personal nutrition coach in your pocket.
So it's not about obsessing over every calorie, but rather getting a clearer picture of your overall intake.
Exactly. And it can help you identify areas where you might be falling short on certain nutrients, like protein or fiber. Plus, there are tons of user-friendly apps out there, like MyFitnessPal, that make tracking super easy. You can even scan barcodes.
Okay, that definitely takes some of the hassle out of it.
Yeah.
But does the book recommend tracking everything you eat every single day?
Not necessarily. The author suggests taking at least 2 days off from tracking each week to avoid getting too obsessive about it. Remember, healthy eating should be enjoyable, not a source of stress.
That makes sense. It's all about finding that balance. Speaking of things that need balancing, the book has some interesting things to say about eggs. I grew up thinking they were bad for your cholesterol.
Ah, the classic egg dilemma. The book actually debunks that myth, citing research showing that eating up to 6 to 12 eggs per week doesn't negatively impact cholesterol levels. In fact, eggs are packed with protein, B vitamins, and antioxidants, making them a nutritional powerhouse.
So scrambled, poached omelets, bring on the eggs. I'm always looking for versatile breakfast options that you make ahead of time.
Eggs are definitely a time saver for busy mornings. And speaking of healthy fats, the book also talks about cooking oils and which ones to use and avoid.
I've always been a little confused about cooking oils. I thought vegetable oils were the healthier choice.
It's a common misconception. The book explains that vegetable oils are highly processed and contain polyunsaturated fatty acids that are sensitive to heat. When heated to high temperatures, they can oxidize and form harmful trans fats, which can increase the risk of inflammation and chronic diseases.
So what are the healthier alternatives?
The book recommends sticking with traditional fats, like olive oil, peanut oil, avocado oil, and even butter for high heat cooking. They're more stable at high temperatures and provide some beneficial nutrients.
Good to know. So we've covered protein, healthy fats, and even busted some myths about white potatoes and eggs. What about sugar? I have a feeling this book isn't a big fan.
You're right on the money. The book calls sugar a silent killer, and it's not just about empty calories and weight gain. Excess sugar can disrupt hormones, weaken bones and muscles, and even impair brain function.
Yikes. That's definitely motivation to cut back.
Yeah.
But I think we all know that completely eliminating sugar is nearly impossible.
Absolutely. The book emphasizes reducing sugar intake gradually and becoming more aware of hidden sugars in processed foods. A simple tip is to start reading labels carefully. You'd be surprised how much sugar is lurking in seemingly healthy products.
That's like a sugar detective mission at the grocery store.
Oh.
Speaking of healthy choices at the grocery store, the book is a big advocate for fish, particularly fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines.
And for good reason. Fatty fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for brain health, heart health, and reducing inflammation.
Bless. They're delicious and easy to cook, even for someone who's not a master chef.
Exactly. The book recommends aiming for at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week, and if you don't eat fish, there are plant-based omega-3 supplements derived from microalgae.
So whether you're a seafood lover or prefer plant-based options, there's a way to get those essential omega-3s. Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to one of the earlier points about water. The book really emphasizes the importance of staying hydrated. Is there anything particularly insightful about their approach to hydration?
Absolutely. It's not just about drinking 8 glasses a day. The book gets specific about timing, suggesting drinking water 20 minutes before meals to aid digestion and 60 minutes after to allow for optimal nutrient absorption.
I never thought about the timing aspect of hydration. It's like a strategic hydration plan.
It's all about working with your body's natural processes, and the book emphasizes carrying a reusable water bottle with you as a visual reminder to stay hydrated throughout the day.
So it's about making hydration a habit, not just something you remember when you're already feeling thirsty.
Exactly. And speaking of habits, the book has some great tips for grocery shopping that can really set you up for success.
Okay, like what? I'm always looking for ways to make grocery shopping less overwhelming.
Well, it's all about prioritizing fresh whole foods and avoiding those tempting processed snacks in the middle aisles. Think of it as a perimeter shopping strategy. Load up on fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, and you'll be well on your way to creating nutritious meals.
It's like a treasure hunt for healthy foods. But what about those times when you can't avoid eating out, like client dinners or office parties? Did the book address that?
It definitely does. It's all about making smart choices, even when you're not in control of the menu. The book suggests opting for grilled or baked dishes over fried options, choosing salads instead of fries, and being mindful of portion sizes.
So it's about damage control,
Yeah.
not deprivation.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that healthy eating doesn't have to be restrictive or boring. It's about finding ways to nourish your body and mind so you can perform at your best, both professionally and personally.
Finding that balance between healthy choices and enjoying life's little indulgences.
You got it. It's about making sustainable changes that you can stick with long term.
It really is about finding that sweet spot where healthy eating becomes like a natural part of your life, not a chore. Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at you today, but what I love about this book is it's not just about theory. It's about action. It gives you practical strategies to actually implement these tips, even with a jam-packed schedule.
Absolutely. One thing the book stresses is the importance of planning ahead, especially when it comes to lunch. Instead of getting caught in the midday rush and grabbing whatever's fastest, try blocking out some time in your schedule for a proper lunch break.
That's so true. I know when I'm running between meetings, it's easy to just grab a quick slice of pizza or a sugary coffee drink, and then I wonder why I'm crashing by mid-afternoon.
It's all about setting yourself up for success. The book also suggests prepping healthy snacks in advance. Things like hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurt with berries, or a handful of almonds can be lifesavers when those afternoon cravings hit.
So it's like having a mini healthy food bar right in your fridge or desk drawer. I love that. But what about when those sugar cravings hit hard? Does the book have any advice for dealing with those?
Of course, it suggests swapping out sugary snacks for fruit or a small salad. And if you're really craving something indulgent, the book says, to savor it mindfully, without guilt, and then get back on track with your healthy choices.
It's like giving yourself permission to enjoy those treats once in a while without derailing your progress.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that healthy eating, it isn't about deprivation, it's about finding a sustainable balance that nourishes your body and mind.
This deep dive into healthy eating tips has been so insightful. We've learned so much about prioritizing protein, rethinking our relationship with carbs, and even the importance of unplugging while we eat. But more importantly, we've learned that healthy eating, it doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. It's about making small, consistent changes that fit into our busy lives and ultimately make us feel our best.
I completely agree. And remember, you don't have to implement all of these tips at once. Start with 1 or 2 that resonate with you and build from there.
Small steps lead to big changes. So as we wrap up this episode, we want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. Now that you've learned all these incredible tips, what one change will you commit to this week to boost your energy and well-being?
We encourage you to share your answer with us on social media or leave a comment on your podcast platform. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on this journey to healthier, happier lives.
And remember, It's not about perfection, it's about progress. So keep experimenting, keep learning, and most importantly, keep diving deep.